forget your birth certificate for a moment. We're asking you to consider something a little more interesting.
Yeah.
How old is the voice inside your head right now? Is it that voice of, unfiltered novelty, always chasing the next exciting thing?
Or is it something else? Maybe a voice of profound detachment looking at today's crisis and seeing it as, well, tomorrow's footnote.
Exactly. And that's what we're getting into today.
We are diving into this concept that some of the research calls mental vibe or, mental age.
And it's not about how many birthdays you've had.
Not at all. It's not about your IQ either. It's really rooted in developmental and archetypal psychology. This research maps the unique psychological filter.
The lens you see things through.
The lens you instinctively put on when you're faced with life, relationships, or even just like a complicated new gadget.
And that's really our mission today. We've been looking at a stack of these psychological explorations, and they're structured around a series of playful but really pointed questions, all designed to reveal this internal timeline. It's like a map of 5 distinct ways of approaching existence, from the purely playful to the deeply philosophical.
And what we're doing is charting 5 archetypes of perspective. For each one, we want to identify its core motivation, the cognitive superpower it relies on.
Okay.
And what happens when that perspective runs up against a real challenge? It's less about judging maturity.
It's not a grade.
No, not at all. It's more about understanding which lens you are instinctively wearing today.
Okay, let's unpack the first 2 then. These are the ones really defined by that raw, unfiltered forward energy, the young explorer and the vibrant dreamer.
So we start with the young explorer. Think mental age 5 to 12.
Wow, okay.
This energy is all about novelty and divergent thinking. They are a creative force who sees life as a nonstop adventure.
And their strength.
It's unfiltered curiosity. They possess this really beautiful, just inherent joy in the immediacy of the present moment.
You can almost see the explorer's cognitive mechanism at play in how they approach, like, a simple problem.
Oh, absolutely.
If they're stuck inside on a rainy day, their immediate response is to transform the environment. They're not moping.
No. They're building a pillow fort and finding the closest distraction.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do long-term outcome-based planning. They just prioritize the process of play.
And the gadget example, if you give them a complicated new device.
They're just going to press all the buttons until something cool happens.
Right.
And that behavior really reflects their core motivation, the simple pursuit of novelty. But the trade-off is predictability.
Ah.
From the explorer perspective, structure and responsibility feel like a massive buzzkill.
Because it just gets in the way.
It limits their ability to spontaneously chase the fun.
Now, if you kind of age that perspective up just a little bit, you run into the vibrant dreamer, about 13 to 19.
Yes. Still defined by that high energy,
Yeah.
but it shifts from pure play to pure expression.
So it's more about feel.
Exactly. This perspective sees the world as a canvas for intense passions and, big feelings.
The dreamer's superpower, then, is this expressive imagination and bold authenticity.
They have a really high tolerance for unpredictability, and it's all driven by emotional immediacy. If the explorer plays, the dreamer feels.
So a surprise day off isn't for chores.
No way.
Yeah.
It's about an immediate impromptu road trip because that feeling of freedom has to be acted on right now.
I find their relationship with rules fascinating.
Me too.
They don't really ignore rules out of malice or anything. They just seem to believe that personal passion and immediate emotion should, and maybe can, just supersede any external mandates.
It's a kind of conviction. When they solve a problem in a relationship, they're going to talk it out, maybe dramatically.
Right, because the feelings have to be heard.
And felt, immediately. They choose to wing it and adjust on the fly when they're faced with a challenge. It's a confidence that's driven by emotional conviction, not some strategic plan.
It's the energy of intense idealism meeting the messy reality of the world.
That's a perfect way to put it.
So we've gone from the perspective of pure novelty with the explorer to this perspective of emotional intensity with the dreamer. Where do we land when practicality finally starts to intervene?
That brings us right to the fulcrum, the balance point where intention really takes over. The thoughtful realist. Mental age 20 to 30.
And this is such a critical pivot point, isn't it? The realist still has the dreams of those earlier stages.
Oh yeah, they're still there.
But now they're actively trying to integrate those dreams with the structure that the adult world demands. They're trying to understand the mechanism of their place in the world.
And their superpower reflects that. It's awareness and emotional depth combined with practical application.
Practical navigators.
That's it. They're the practical navigators. They don't just mash buttons like the explorer, but they also realize reading an entire manual is, frankly, inefficient.
So they skim, they find what they need.
They skim, focusing on finding the necessary steps to make the system functional.
And you can see that intentionality in how they approach life's challenges. They don't collapse or just blindly wing it.
No, they have a strategy.
They break the problem down into manageable steps and tackle it head-on. Their dream home is a perfect symbol of this.
The city apartment.
A city apartment, which acknowledges the necessity of urban reality, but it's carefully curated with plants and mood lighting. It's meaningful and aesthetically pleasing.
It's the perspective that demands that functionality must also serve the self. The realist perspective sees that life is complex, but it believes that complexity can be optimized and personalized.
And if you look back, this is often that phase of intentional growth where people realize they can finally shape their environment to reflect who they are inside.
It's when introspection finally turns into actionable organization.
So moving past the realist, we arrive at these archetypes defined more by a perspective accumulated over time. The focus shifts from action and efficiency to grounded reflection.
And philosophical depth. We first meet the old soul.
The old soul.
Mental age 31 to 45. This one is defined by a grounded kind of reflection. They're the anchor for other people, the ones you seek out for stability.
Because they've figured some things out.
They've established boundaries and learned lessons. Their superpower is steady wisdom and compassion.
Okay, I want to challenge this profile a little bit.
Go for it.
If the sage, who we'll get to, kind of transcends rules, doesn't the old soul's insistence that they need rules for structure, that they feel organized by mandates, doesn't that represent a kind of high-functioning rigidity instead of true wisdom?
That is a fantastic distinction to make. The old soul's wisdom is functional wisdom.
Okay.
They're not philosophically detached, they're deeply grounded. They need boundaries and rules, not for restriction, but because they've learned that structure is the key to stability.
So it's a tool, not a cage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When solving relationship problems, they move past the drama and focus on setting boundaries, offering concrete, practical solutions. That quiet cottage with a fireplace isn't just an aesthetic. It represents a functional serenity that they know must be protected.
I see. So if the realist seeks personalized efficiency, the old soul is seeking protective stability.
And then we zoom out entirely. We meet the timeless sage, 46 and up. This perspective views life through an almost purely philosophical lens.
Deep introspection, true serenity.
That's the one. Their superpower is perspective beyond the moment, while the old soul is worrying about the boundaries.
The sage is contemplating the entire wall.
You got it. When you give them that complicated gadget, they don't worry about the function or the manual. They just wonder if this object will even matter in the grand scheme of things.
That detachment is their core strength.
It is. On a rainy day, they aren't cleaning or building forts. They're enjoying the stillness, reflecting on life's fundamental mysteries.
And their relationship with rules is unique.
It's totally unique. They see them as temporary, just
Right.
until something deeper is understood. They rely solely on their own internal understanding, having already internalized all the structures the other archetypes wrestled with.
So, the crucial difference is this. The old soul provides practical, grounded wisdom you can use today to fix a problem.
Right.
Whereas the timeless sage offers philosophical detachment that helps you decide if the problem is even worth fixing in the first place.
Precisely.
Ultimately, the real power of mapping these 5 cognitive lenses, the playful, the passionate, the pragmatic, the compassionate, and the philosophical, is that your mental age is a reflection of context. It's not a permanent label.
That is the core, actionable insight here. Understanding these profiles allows you to choose the perspective you adopt. And we see this choice most vividly in how each profile handles a sudden, significant challenge.
Yeah, think about it. The explorer, when faced with chaos, cries or laughs and calls for help. It's an external dependency. The dreamer, driven by that emotional confidence, just wings it.
Well, the realist in the old soul plan. They research, they prepare, they rely on structured effort.
But the sage is different.
It's so different. When faced with chaos, they retreat, they reflect, and only then do they reemerge with wisdom. Their response isn't immediate action.
It's immediate perspective setting.
Yes.
And this difference is really underscored by what each age ultimately wishes other people understood about them. The explorer, for example, just wishes others understood that play is still important.
Of course. And the realist wants people to get that feelings matter just as much as facts. requiring both depth and pragmatism.
But the ultimate perspective, the timeless sage.
Their wish is that others understood that most things are temporary.
And that is the challenge we really want to leave you with. If all five of these powerful voices exist inside you, which one is currently guiding your choices?
Are you operating from the necessity of the realist, maybe the playfulness of the explorer, or the structure of the old soul?
Think about that ultimate perspective of the timeless sage.
Yeah, consider it. How does adopting that understanding, that most things are temporary, how does that gentle detachment change how you tackle your next immediate problem, that difficult meeting or that pile of demands waiting for you?
Celebrate the fact that you have access to all of those perspectives, because recognizing which lens you're wearing is the very first step toward consciously choosing the right one for the job.
You have your inner child, your bold authenticity,
Yeah.
and your wise old self all ready to guide you every single day.